Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote into chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, well, you could just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. It's a Saturday night, and my goal this evening is to finish this model kit. We're putting it to bed right now. You got most of the Shining Gundam. We still have to do the head of the kit. We have to finish the chest, attach the arms, build the core lander, and then the side skirts, and then we'll be done. Because this kit doesn't really have weapons. So it's got beam sabers, but I also don't really want to, I'll build them, but I don't want to put them on because we got the cool hands and I don't want to put the other hands on because these hands have cool effects. So like, nah, I'm good. Let's see. Anything else before we get started and get this going? Not really. Hopefully doing this will boost my energy levels. I've been a little tired. I had a busy day, including working in the yard, which definitely saps my energy because of my pollen allergy. Not necessarily the best thing, but a thing I have to do anyway. So yeah, I'm a little lethargic, but hopefully this stream I'll get into it as we go, and fake energy will become real energy, as they say. Let's go to the overhead camera. Boom, overhead camera. You can go here. You can see. Oh, also currently we're at 23 subscribers. If you would like to become a subscriber, please consider it. If you want to gift a sub, that would be great. We're currently at 23. We're trying to get to 40, and I shut up at 40. I said we. I meant me. I'm trying to get to 40 subscribers. Happy to have 23 for sure. Looking to get more than that. You know how it goes. You know how it is. What was I going to say? I don't know. Yeah, we're going to keep going here by putting on the last pieces of the chest that we need to put in. So we will do that and then do some panel lining and then throw the arms on. And then, yeah, our chest will be done. I do have, of course, the VDAR to continue working on if we don't... if this whole stream doesn't take the time to, to put this together and there's time left, then we'll go back to the VDAR, which of course we worked on before. That was sent by DSHS, sent that in. So then we'll be able to continue working on that because, it was mailed to me by somebody. So it's basically the equivalent of, sending me a, something from my mailbag, you could say. All right, so that's that. Just got the head left on there. So let's get this together. Oh, got a little nubbin to clean off here, so we'll clean that off. Yeah, we'll get these side skirts, or the side parts of the chest in, and then move on to the next step. I think it'll make the most sense to put this piece on first. Yeah. Because it will go through the hole there. Okay, that slid in like it was supposed to. And then the other part of the chest will go in on this side and should slide in nice and easy together. Let's see if it did. Did it? It did. All right, and then push those together and we're good. And the chest has now been set in here. Yeah, there it is. Cool. And then we can panel on the chest and then throw the arms on. Nice and easy. That's what we're doing here. Let's see. Let's start with some cool announcements. Crunchyroll is doing a thing. That seems pretty cool. They used to do a thing where they would premiere a movie on on their channel and have or on their website and have watch-alongs. They called it Crunchyroll Anime Nights movie program. But they're bringing that back, but it's going to be in movie theaters. And the idea is that it's let's see. This was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. It is a new monthly theatrical program titled Crunchyroll Anime Nights. It's going to be in the U.S. starting in October, and then select theater locations from the U.S. theater chains, including Alamo Drafthouse, AMC, Regal, Cinemark, Harkins, and Larmark, will host anime movie screenings night every third Monday of the month. As you might imagine, Monday nights probably not the biggest draw for movies, people going to movies. So this is a smart promotion. It's kind of one of the things, like, you would imagine this being a thing that you would see on like smaller movie theaters. So the bigger chains doing it is kind of interesting. And they announced the October to December slate, which includes Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, A Lonely Dragon Wants to Be Loved. The Miss Kobayashi Dragon movie will be there October 20th. November 17th will be Overlord, a celebration of the anime's 10-year anniversary. So it is a movie that is basically a like, hey, check this out, we're still doing this shit, huh? Movie, which is fine. And then a weird thing they're doing is the thing that's going to happen on December 15th is a sneak peek of stuff coming out next year. So they don't have a movie to premiere, because the other ones are premieres of movies. So instead of they don't have a movie, so instead they're just going to do like a thing that is like trailers before they come out, because it'll be around the time that you start seeing trailers for the winter 2026 season. So they're just going to do that as like a movie night and clips and stuff. And that sounds kind of interesting. I don't know what... That doesn't sound like a 1 hour and a half or 2 hour event, so I don't know what else they're going to do, but they're doing that. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So that was kind of a neat announcement. There's not a lot of announcements at San Diego Comic-Con that appealed to me, so it was nice to see that one. The back of this kit came off, and so now I'm going to try to figure out why that happened. Our back skirt popped off, so let's see if I can get that back on properly. This is on right, but this piece is not on right. Not on correctly. Why? What are you... There it is, right? Nope, then the top part's not on right. Let me take this piece off and just kind of do it like this way. And I'm like, okay, so this goes here. Is it on upside down? Is it supposed to be like that? Is that how it's supposed to go? And then this would go in there? Maybe. I don't know why this is suddenly giving me trouble. I don't remember giving me trouble on Thursday. It might have, and I just have a bad memory about it. I don't remember this giving me problems on Thursday's stream, so... All right, let's go back and look. Let's go back and look at this page here and see why this is giving me troubles. So this is the piece that goes here like this, and this goes like this, and then this would go like that. And so yeah, okay. So if it goes like this, I'll just do it without the back piece. So this is how it's supposed to go. The pegs go into here. This peg goes into that. That goes into that. And that's how it's supposed to look. And it's kind of weird, but that's how it says it's supposed to look. Because the other way wouldn't make sense. Well, the other way would look better. It wouldn't. Like that. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to go. Sorry about this, folks. We're in a question mark here on how to get this there. Okay, there it is. All right, that's in place. That was weird. I don't know why that was giving me problems all of a sudden out of nowhere. But we now are done panel lining. So, I guess we can do this line here. Can't really see any marker on blue, but I can still do it there. And then a little bit of black right there. Okay, now we will put the arms on. And then the only thing we'll have left after that is the head. Got to build the head next. The head has our last 2 stickers that will need to be applied, of course. All right, so we got to get this in here. We're gonna pull the shoulder back here, give it as much room as possible, because we have to put this into a poly cap and have it not move around too much and go into the poly cap that it needs to go into. All right, I'm going to do this like this, I think. Ah, there we go, and it goes down. That's right. There's like a little tab on this and a tab in there, and so you have to get it right. And I was not getting it right. I was fucking it up. So I bet it shows you in the actual put the arms in instructions. Yes. So it actually goes in like this. I'm still gonna do it like this because it's just easier. And it goes in like that. And then you can feed that right to there. Hooray, we did it. We did it. We got the head on. I got everything but the head on and the core lander and the side skirts, but whatever. We'll do the side skirt pieces because it's just easier to do that. E7, E7, A34, and A9. Okay, A9. So this is this is number 39, and basically this is set up so that one of the beam sabers can be on the side. There are 2 beam sabers, but only one can go on a side skirt. And then I need this here, the other side skirt piece, and then we'll panel line it, stick it on, and then work on the head. So yeah, no other San Diego Comic-Con news that felt important for our shenanigans, what we do here. So I didn't write any of those down, but I'm sure there's a few things out there that will be of interest to you out on the internet. Lots of gaming news stuff that we can go through. I will say, just right off the bat, it is interesting to talk about. So the UK has a new law that has gone into effect about basically it is an attempt. It's called the Online Safety Act, and it has quote unquote robust age checks. The idea is to prevent minors from accessing adult content, which, you know, I understand. So different sites have different tools. If you want to be on Blue Sky and have adult content viewable on your Blue Sky account, you have to like do a real ID or something to that effect, basically show your ID, and it's, you know, draconian. It feels very much. There are ways to get around that by basically tricking Blue Sky into thinking you are not in the UK. That is a method to do. So Discord has it has to do this, right? If you're in the UK, you know, to get through Discord's age verification. There are you can do their ID, but there's another way, which is so instead of scanning your ID, you can do face scan, which uses checks to verify how old you look to see if you're good to view adult content. So Discord demands age verification for the following. This is from an article I'm reading here on PC Gamer. When unblurring or changing settings for the Discord sensitivity media feature, so if you want to change that up, when changing message request settings, when trying to access age-restricted 18-plus channels. Now, you can do the age verification ID, which is called KID. That is a company that is doing it. They say, we don't store any of your stuff. We don't store it. So it's one, it's a verification you do, and then you're good. And we don't save the photo, your video, whatever, because you're taking basically a video of yourself, not a still image, a video of yourself for proof. And they have a bunch of tools, I'm sure are AI generated, that basically are just like, oh, okay, yeah, like that's all right. You're cool. This is good. Thumbs up. And you're like, all right. You're good. Now, if you're like, Pat, there's got to be a way around this. Yeah. You can use video of very well-detailed video games protagonists. Like, for instance, if you have a recording of the photo mode and you have your main guy from Death Stranding walk around, well, that looks like a real person. So you can just use Sam Porter and it will bypass the age verification. And it is worked because they don't store it locally or anything. There's no proof that you didn't do it. You passed their vigorous checks. So you could just have a video. And then that'll just fine. And then they'll be like, yeah, you're right. You're in the right age group. You're good. So they need facial movement, which is why you can't just hold up like a photo and have that work. But of course, the idle animation in a video game as high def or, and detailed as Death Stranding 2 will just fucking work. And it's been verified that it does. So that is a way to get around those requirements. And you can just do whatever. This law itself has a lot of vagaries in its language that would be great if they could clear that stuff up, because it is ripe for abuse and in various other ways, and does nothing much to actually keep people safe. More, it is just harassing people, and it could be that Britain will say, hey, you can't use this technology. Discord, it's not actually doing anything, and maybe there'll be a change in that. But right now, that is a way to beat the verification if you want to get around it, because it makes total sense, and I totally understand why people would be hesitant to have their IDs use their IDs to be on any sort of social media platform or anything like that. I totally understand it, or using your real face, anything like that. Totally get why people would be Oh, my mic went away. I hit my mic cable wrong and it went away, but it's back, so we're good. God, so many of these fucking stories are... I have so many layoff stories, unfortunately, from the later half of this week that we didn't get to on Thursday, because we were talking about Hulk Hogan dying and V Shoujo imploding, that I didn't even get to talk about all of the layoffs in the games industry that are unfortunately many layoffs. This isn't a layoff story, but I thought we should talk about it. You may remember that Krafton, the company that spun out of PUBG being a success, that now is a publisher of games, You may remember all the ongoing soon-to-be litigation with that as they try to deal with all of this bullshit coming out of their letting go of the Subnautica 2 leadership team in order to possibly, allegedly, in order to avoid payment of bonuses and all that stuff. Well, they're doing some other stuff. Krafton has been in the process of acquiring another studio, which seems like weird timing, but that's just how fucking shit works. That's just how shit goes. It is both actually weird timing and just a probably weird coincidence, because it takes a long time to do this shit. I saw some people being like, oh, they're just trying to like change the narrative and get people excited, but also no, that wouldn't get people excited if you were like, hey, this company you're feeling weird about, guess what? They also acquired another studio. That wouldn't change the conversation, but also this shit takes a long time. So that's a weird conspiracy theory for people to have. They acquired 11-hour games for under $100 million. It seems like $96 million seems to be the price tag for that. The fully remote studio will continue to operate under its existing leadership. We'll see. And Krafton is going to provide the studio with publishing and live service resources, which is like, you didn't have to buy them to do that, though. If that's all you're going to do, you should have just stayed a publisher. But of course, that's not it. That's just what they're saying. Because especially right now, that's what they have to say. They've got to say that shit. Apparently, this studio has been working on a game called Last Epoch since 2017. And they also got an investment from Tencent in 2022, but now they're an internal studio at Krafton. And then the founder of 11th Hour Studios has to say a PR statement that feels probably weird. It feels weird. 11th Hour Games is joining Krafton, the powerhouse behind PUBG, who shares our passion for the action ARPG genre, and it's ready to help fuel our effort in raising Last Epoch to new heights. With this partnership, we will have the opportunity and resources to execute on our goal of creating the very best ARPG in the genre. I was about to say of all time, but they said in the genre. It's now enjoyed by millions. What claims the studio must aggressively expand in order to realize its vision for the title. They've been vetting potential partners over the past year and ultimately chose to join forces with Krafton. Perhaps they might, at this point, regret that. But who knows? I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth. But if it were me, I would probably have a tinge of regret or perhaps doubt. At the very least, I would be in my feelings at this point if I had said that I was like for a year looking to get bought out and then ended up with the people who just fired the leadership team of another studio. I would probably be concerned. I would say concerned would be an understatement of how I would be feeling. But yeah. And I don't think that's fucking wrong to feel a bit concerned. But we don't know. I can't read inside someone's mind or heart. I'm just saying, if it were me, be a little worried. Especially this part of the interview thing here, PR statement. Krafton clearly demonstrated that they're aligned in helping us achieve our goals and can both enable and guide us through some of the largest upcoming challenges we'll face as a studio. Just like really bigging them up, which makes sense. This partnership will allow us to deliver things we only dreamed of previously, and I'm excited to share the details on those at a later date. Again, this is basically a press release, but it was posted on their forums to, I think, just be fucking excited about what's happening here, which is like, yeah, I mean, somebody's got to act excited, so might as well be the founder. But again, it is kind of fucking crazy. Just in general, given all that's going on with this studio, or the publisher, I should say. Let's see. It is unclear whether the deal includes significant earn-out clauses similar to the ones that landed Crafton in legal battle with Subnautica developer Unknown World's former leadership team. So yeah, at this point, we don't know if there are a bunch of if there's going to be a bunch of promised payouts for things. We don't know. We most likely won't know until they want to brag about it, or somebody else is going to fucking sue them. You know, it's kind of like, we'll see. Gotta get these head pieces on here properly. Make them all look good. I need to get D9 and D10. Also need to go on here. These are tinier. Working on the head here early enough in the stream, so I'm not too worried about fucking this up. I mean, I'm always a little worried about fucking up, but I'm not super worried about this. Anyway, that was an update. It was one of those things where I'm like, is this good news? I mean, a studio surviving is always good news, but also like, oofta. You had to announce that, huh? Had to get that out there. Yikes. Good luck to them. I mean, that's the best I can do, or I can say is good luck to 11th Hour Studio. Let's see. Oh, I want to talk about this. This is a piece of news that I did want to chat about here. So last year, there was scuttlebutt of Sony might be making a play for some various companies. One big company buying another or merging with another big company in Japan is more difficult than it is in the United States. Obviously, I can't get into super specifics there, but this is, my understanding of these affairs is that it is far more difficult to do that because generally when a merger happens, layoffs happen, and it's harder to lay people off in Japan than it is in the United States. They don't like it when that happens there. According to the law, in general, many exceptions, your mileage may vary. But generally, they're like pretty much on record as not enjoying that. So, okay. For whatever reason, they include here different versions of this. These are the same. These V-fins are the same, but they have a slightly different yellow here, the gold yellow. This one is in line with the rest of the head. This one is different. This is a part that is, I don't know why. I'm not sure. I think this is like, yeah. There's just an option. I can just put on this or the other one. And so I think I'm going to go with this yellow, yellowish gold, and not the other one, not H, because it matches the other ones, and I think that's the way to go with it. But there is an option. And I guess if I fuck this up, then I have a backup plan. So that's nice. It's nice having backups. I got to clip this piece here. So Sony has acquired 2.5% stake in Bandai Namco, which is about 16 million shares. And this is worrying, generally. I would like Sony to stop buying things. Now, here, obviously, back then it was like, oh, is Sony going to acquire... the look was that maybe Sony was going to acquire Elden Ring. They were going to buy the company that, the conglomerate that owns Elden Ring, and people were like, oh, that's interesting. The company that owns From Software, who made Elden Ring. D-Dash. This kit, I bought this kit on Amazon. This Shining Gundam, I picked this up on Amazon. I like to shop locally, but unfortunately, nowhere in my immediate area are there any model kit stores. So unfortunately, I can't do that. I often buy from either Gundam Planet or I buy from, if I can, buy from Gundam Planet and USA Gundam Store, because they're both at least on the East Coast. But then often I am picking up kits when I have to from Amazon. It's just, unfortunately, way easier. All right, so this has to go in here. So yeah, it looked like maybe Sony was going to buy the parent company of From Software, which I have to double check. Is it owned from Software? Because I don't always remember this stuff. Yes. It's Katakawa Corporation. 70% of Katakawa owns 70% of From Software, and then a subsidiary of Tencent owns 16%, and then Sony Interactive owns a little bit. So people were afraid they were going to buy out the people. And it wasn't that like, oh, they're going to buy another developer or anything like that. The more worrying was Sony was going to buy people that make anime and distribute anime because they already have the market kind of cornered. Their biggest competition right now is Netflix and High Dive and Amazon Prime, and none of those are really competition. They just own so much of the anime distribution market and the anime production market. So it's just like, fucking yikes. So it's always worrying. So now they're just investing in Bandai Namco, which is still a big corporation. But I think Bandai is probably big enough that they are not looking to get bought out or sold off. I can't fully verify that, but it seems like they are in a position where they are not looking to get swallowed up. I don't know why this thing is not. Sorry, everybody. There it is. That took a while to get into the place it was supposed to go, but it's here now. All right, and now I can put this. We can get our head together here. All right, that's locked in place. The V-fin, that goes down for most of it. These go back and then they come forward. Oops, shit. I didn't notice this popped out. So now I have to undo what I just did, hopefully, carefully. Wedge this here. And then, will that be enough for me to slide this piece in? No. Damn. All right. I'm going to take this off even though I just got it on. I take the front part of the head off here. Nice and easy. Just trying to be very careful. All right, and now I have to put this piece back on here. All right, now we'll do it again, and then we'll put the front V-fin on. Great. Now I can really push these together here, kind of lock it all in. And then the V-fin goes on. V-fin goes on. Great. All right. And then We've got the forehead piece, which has our last sticker, and then the face plate. And then we got a panel line the head. And we're going to get close to being done here. Oh, wait. I missed, no. What are these for? Because, yeah, we got the Orlander. Oh, yeah. What about A? What about A? Look at these pieces here. 16 and 15. When do those go in? I'm like looking for it. We look at the front page here, the instruction booklet. Oh, they don't do the like parts you actually use here. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's what it is. So we can do the face plate that goes over this, which is A27. Or we can do the open faceplate thing, but I think we'll just do the regular faceplate. That's right. These are optional. If we wanted to, we can do it where they pop open. But we're just going to do the gray faceplate, and I think that's the right call. And then I need A2, and I need to put a sticker on A2. And then we'll be done with stickers on this kit. All right. Let's get a very tiny sticker that needs to go on here. So yeah, this is another acquisition here. In December, Sony became, this was the thing, they are also a share. So now, Sony is already owns 14% of From Software in shares. Then they own a large portion of From Software's parent company, Kadokawa, and now they also have an investment in the publisher of From Software's game, or Elden Ring specifically, but a lot of other From Software's games. And that is all worrying because Sony is a giant corporation, and I would like them to have less stuff like this. Again, it's also worrying because of the manga and anime and all that. If they end up purchasing either of these companies, it's just gonna lead to less stuff for people to be able to go and do on their own, and less competition, which is always a bad thing. All right, and then I put on the face. Hell yeah, that's looking good. And these all open up. That. And then we can panel line this. We're going to use the gray marker and the black marker. But we're done with stickers, which is great, because I don't want to worry about stickers. Gray marker, black marker. We are almost body complete on this kit. And then we got to build the core lander that goes in the back. So yeah, I'm just going to hit all of this gray plastic with the gray marker. And then kind of clean it up. And then I'll hit a little bit here and there with the black marker. Couple spots need the black marker. No back sticker here on the back of this. I guess there wasn't a back camera on this kit or on the model. All right. Put that on there. That'll look good. Stuff on the face. That'll be good. I'll clean up forehead here. Yeah. Anyway, here's hoping that Sony doesn't actually end up acquiring these things. They're just, buying shares so they can have some say in how things are going, and they don't flat out try to buy any of these other giant corporations. and then consolidate because, you know, when they start buying these things in the same way, you know, they owned Funimation, they bought Crunchyroll, suddenly Funimation and Crunchyroll merge, and then a bunch of stuff just goes away, and then they are less likely to continue to relicense anime because they are the major anime distributor in the world. So now they, for streaming at the very least, so now they don't have to worry about competition from anybody, and they can just let stuff lapse because they don't need to have the biggest or best library in the world. They already have the biggest. It doesn't need to be the best. Just by default, they won. All they do is buy and then lay off a bunch of people. And then go with the Crunchyroll name so that you don't remember that this is all Sony shit. Like anytime you're mad at Crunchyroll, you are also mad at their parent company, Sony. They don't want you to remember that. All right, now is the depressing time where I'm going to go through all of the layoff stories that Game Developer had this week, and unfortunately there are quite a few, and we'll go through those. The Chinese Room. They uncoupled is the term that was used by Game Developer. So they went independent again, and unfortunately that also meant layoffs, which fucking sucks. There's no way it doesn't suck. But yeah, they basically went indie, and they confirmed an undisclosed number of people have been laid off. It's a UK studio. It now just has 55 developers. We don't know how many they had previously. But yes, they're now a smaller studio. This is the people that brought you Still Wakes the Deep, Little Orpheus, and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Chinese Room. But they basically, the management team got some private investment in order to buy themselves out from Sumo Digital. Yes, Mjan. Hi, Mjan. It is also a segment I don't love. I don't love going through this, but I think it is important, especially when it comes to indie developers and big developers, to like be aware of these things, right? And then at least, you know, if there's none of it's good, but sometimes there are some of them that are way worse than others, and it's important to kind of know what's going on out there with that, since, you know, the vast majority of people that view my stuff here are also people that would call themselves game enthusiasts. Gamers, perhaps, they might even say. Perhaps they won't. All right, so that neck piece just popped out, so that's not good. All right, let's try to get this head on once again. Look, I don't remember a lot about this kit from when I built it in 2017, but I do remember the head did not want to go on the first time I built this, so I am not surprised that it is giving me similar problems, since this kit is not anything different from the last time I built it. 2002 design. They were still fucking figuring out master grades. Is there any piece of this that I didn't figure out? Is there any trick that I'm not noticing? No, all of this seems like, yeah, it works. All of this seems right. There isn't a piece that I missed in this build. This has just got to pop in towards it looks like towards the back. Hello, welcome. Let's see. So yeah, fortunately, layoffs at the Chinese Room. Sandsoft is laying off 21 internal developers because they are apparently focusing on publishing. And so they are minimizing the roles for internal developers in their studio. There's the head. Now we got that connected. There we go. Okay. Head is on. We are body complete. We're going to work on the core lander and then the weapons. And then we will be done with this kit. Of course, we still have a little bit more to do here and there. Gotta build our core lander, because in G Gundam, folks are this is where the pilot gets in and then rides this vehicle into the back of their mobile suit, and then they're in the chest. Yes, this is a master grade kit. This was released in the year 2002. This is not a 2002 plastic, but is a 2002 design. For those that didn't hear previously, or you're new, that's cool. The reason I am working on this kit is because 8 years ago, when I decided, you know what, I want to give streaming a shot. The kit I decided I wanted to build on stream was this kit, the Shining Gundam, because I had built the Master Gundam Master Grade back in the 90s, but I hadn't built this one. I think this was the only Master Grade from that era that I hadn't built, so I was like, oh, I want to do that. It was kind of a random choice, but I wanted to get into that. So I did. You're working and painting the PGU. Nice. Well, enjoy. Apparently, originally it was rumored that every internal developer working at Sandsoft was being laid off. Turns out that's 21 people, not 65. This is a studio that had several locations. It looks like they're closing their studio in Spain. This is a mobile game studio, and they're focusing on publishing, which is still a lot of people being laid off. 1047 Games is laying off developers, and the CEO is basically like, yeah, I fucked up, which is, always interesting to hear that. It's not much comfort to the people that are getting laid off, but it's like, okay. This is the Splitgate 2, folks. We talked a bit about Splitgate 2 and what was happening there. Basically, so they launched Splitgate 2 too early, says the Make FPS Great Again hat guy. So they put it out too early, and the feedback was like, so they were like, okay, well, the best course of action is to put it back, unrelease it, continue working on it. Apparently, keeping the servers alive for Splitgate costs, time and money. And so they are laying off all of their employees that were keeping Splitgate servers running and maintenance stuff. And so they're laying all those people off, and they're shutting down Splitgate, the original. Which, from a production standpoint, totally understand. From a human standpoint, fucking frustrating. From just a, logistics thing. So the real thing, this was brought up, a few people brought this up, and it's something that hadn't really occurred to me. Splitgate was a runaway smash hit. Splitgate might have not been the thing they were looking to necessarily make right off the jump, and was more a thing that they were confident eventually they could pull off. You know what I mean? Maybe. Oh, actually, I wonder if A24 is a piece that was why the head was being weird. Whatever. It worked. I'm not going to worry about it. Perhaps maybe they were like, oh, shit. This game isn't monetized the way that we would need it to work long term. This was our first game just to try to figure things out. And perhaps this is all conjecture, perhaps they were like, okay, well, now we need to pivot, and it's only going to keep costing us money. And then also, a thing to remember is that one of the major issues people have with Splitgate 2 that were playing it, that were, in the early access, was that it's not enough like Splitgate. It's got too much monetization, and it's missing a bunch of the charm, and it's missing some of the stuff that people really liked about the first game. Because a lot of people were like, it kind of feels like Halo, and there's a portal gun. And that's why people liked Splitgate. It would be a thing to laugh at thanks to the dipshit, but really it's just sad. Yes, Yes, in a vacuum. If all you knew about this was the guy that wore the make FPS great again hat had to lay off, like was now fucking sinking, you'd be like, ha ha, eat shit, dude. But also a reminder that when this gentleman wore that hat and people were like, what the fuck? His response was, well, we needed to stand out. And a reminder that he wore the hat on stage at the Summer Games Fest. Summer Game Fest. He was already standing out. He already made it to that show. And it was like, that was apparently not going to be enough. He needed to make a bigger splash. Just like, always felt like, what the fuck are we talking about here? That always just felt like a PR excuse for their bit not working. Basically, apparently, sorry, I'm hearing a loud noise and I don't know what that is. But nobody has come to talk to me about that loud noise, so apparently it's on purpose. But you hopefully you're not hearing it. Yeah, my noise gate is working, so you're not hearing it, but I'm hearing a loud noise. But I have to assume that's on purpose. Anyway, it's fine. So yeah, apparently they're talking about maybe figuring out an offline mode, like a peer-to-peer mode, but they don't have any plans for it. They did lay off some people earlier this year. In June, they already laid off a few people, as they probably saw writing on the wall that, hey, we're probably going to have to keep working on this game. But generally, it just feels like they put the first game out. It was a bigger deal than they thought. They had to keep supporting it, and it didn't have the monetization that they really wanted. So now they worked on the game they do want to have out, and now they have to deal with the fact that that game is a real success. And so they now need to, this new game that they really wanted to make is not hitting as hard, because it's not just more Splitgate. It's not better Splitgate, which I think is just what most people seem to really want. Again, not everyone. There are probably people who were like really into this new game, the Splitgate 2, and are really sad. But it sounded like most people were just like, yeah, I want it to succeed, but like I'm hoping they make it feel more like the first game. And I'm always reminded of this about Outer Sloth and how they is it Inner Sloth, and Outer Sloth is the publishing, whatever. Inner Sloth. It's Inner Sloth is the company. Outer Sloth is their publishing branch. I'm always reminded of Inner Sloth and the fact that they were working on Fall Guys 2. They were working on the sequel to Fall Guys, because Fall Guys had come out and it done okay, and it was like there was an idea there, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna take what we've learned here, we're keeping it up, but we're gonna work on 2, and then eventually they were gonna sunset the first game to get the second game launched, and then the first game fucking blew up. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Inner Sloth is not the company that made Fall Guys. They're the company that made Among Us, right? Yes. Among Us, not Fall Guys. This is a Among Us story, not a Fall Guys story. I'm sorry. I'm telling a story like I always remember, and then I say it completely wrong. Basically, they were going to work on a sequel, and then they were like, oh shit, the first game is doing really well, so they stopped working on the sequel because the first game did so well that they were like, actually, forget this. We're pivoting. And like, I think that has come, in my opinion, is one of the smartest things in modern indie games, is just going like, oh wait, this rules. Now, apparently, like I said, Splitgate 1 was not set up in a way that could have long-term financial gains, and that's what you need as a studio if you're going to be doing a live service game. So they didn't build it that way, and also, hey, not for nothing, maybe one of the reasons why Splitgate 1 did so well is because it didn't have a lot of bullshit monetization in it. Maybe one of the reasons why it succeeded so well is because it wasn't fucking bullshit. It wasn't filled with bullshit. We'll never know, but that might be one of the reasons why it was such a hit, which is, again, not great for long-term success, but like also one of, the reason why it did well, or at least one of them. Again, we'll never know for sure, but that is certainly something that you could conjecture you could make. And then the final story, Supermassive Games is laying off 36 people and delaying Directive 8020. This is the people that brought you Until Dawn and Little Nightmares 2. It's the UK studio. And they have some stuff about how they wasn't taken lightly. And also in this thing, they were like, hey, also we're making Little Nightmares 3. Hey, Lord Crashington, that was not basically in order to basically kind of appease people. They were like, oh yeah, we're also making this game. Now we're making it. And yeah, it's rough times out there. It's hard out there for folks. My condolences to all the people that have lost their jobs, especially 2025. Rough times for it. Directive 8020 will come out sometime in the first half of next year. It looked like it was supposed to come out around Halloween. Co-founders left the company in February of last year and also left games, both of them. And there were some bunch of quote-unquote redundancies. It looks like 90 people were already laid off previously. And it continues. And it's a fucking nightmare. Again, not the best things to report. But unfortunately, these happen. And we wish the devs the best that are out there trying to get new work in a really tough environment. Because we also hope that they are not just going to get out of the industry, which is unfortunately a valid decision. Muyabby says, I'm building a set with polycaps now, the high-grade 711. Oh, the 711 version of the ARC 7A2. 30th birthday. Not as bad as layout, but still tough. Yeah. Here's the thing. Polycaps are supposed to solve a problem. And sometimes they are also the fucking problem. The problem they are trying to solve, they also sometimes contribute to. All right, we are basically done with this kit here. All we have left is there is one. It's not a well, we can build the beam sabers. So we'll build the beam sabers, the beam saber and the beam dagger. Basically, we'll build those because why not? There is one thing about this kit is that it does have one marking sticker. Now, marking stickers are somewhere in between regular foil stickers and dry transfer or water slide stickers. Because we do want this kit to be part of the Shuffle Alliance, so we do need to put a sticker on here. So I am going to use my X-Acto blade to pop this out, and you'll be able to see that this is not fully clear. It's not transparent. It is a little opaque. Lord Crashington wants me to hit the dance button, which I will. Just let me put this sticker on first. Thank you for using your channel points, Lord Crashington. So I do have to put this on here. Sticker dance. No, Lord Crashington. Post sticker dance. So you can see it is not fully opaque. Or it's opaque, it's not fully translucent. But when it goes on here, it will hopefully blend in pretty well, and it won't be super noticeable. These are certainly far easier to apply than a water slide decal. Now, there is a smaller one that they kind of want you to use, but I put the big one on here because I like how that looks. I want to put the big one on there. There is a smaller one. I'm supposed to put the smaller one on there, but I didn't care about that. And there's other of these marking stickers I could put on, the King of Heart and various other things in here. I'm not going to worry about that. And then yeah, just put a little pressure on here, and then it'll be on there. I wanted to have the big sticker on the front because I think it looks cool. And then I'll show you all the silly things that are on this. So by default, these are supposed to be pushed back, but we'll pull them forward. We'll pull this up. Oop, the head came off. That sucks. I wonder if I did mess up something on this chest. Let me look and see. Was I supposed to do? I might have. I did. Damn, I did miss a piece. Okay, I did. All right. I did miss a piece on here. So let me get this. Pop this out without breaking anything. Yes, I can. I did miss a piece. It is this piece here. It is the neck piece. And while I'm getting this fixed, we'll hit the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points. Lord Grashton, here's the dance button. It's fixable. Everything's fixable. All right, so thank you for using your channel points. So this neck piece goes in here, and then this piece is supposed to go around here, which will hopefully keep that piece from falling out. And then when I put the head on, it shouldn't slide around too much. Then this next piece will move around a bit, of course. Oops, and all right. Now this should pop in like that. Okay, great. All right, and so then these slide up, and then this kind of goes up like this, out, and then these go up here, and then we're ready to go. And then this burning heart of mine tells me to defeat you and all that. You know. If you don't know, you don't know, and it's fine. But if you do know, you know. Also, reminder that this kit has rubber soles at the bottom of the feet and rubber hands. The other hands I could have used here are rubberized plastic like this. And it's just weird, but we went with the clear, the green clear because that looks rad as hell. And then we've got the smaller saber and the bigger saber, which we'd need the other hands to be able to hold, but we'll just build them because they're cool. I do like this color, the pinker of the beam sabers. I think the pink looks nice. It's often red, but yeah, this is our kit. This is our kit done. The Shining Gundam Master Grade from 2002 release that I built I built in 2017, my very first couple streams. I built it quicker than I did previously. And it's panel lined, which I did not do the first time I built it because I wasn't panel lining kits then. And I bet I didn't do this sticker because I was scared of stickers and messing them up. I basically only did eye stickers and I didn't do anything else. So Lashbrook, on this kit, the face does not open. I can take this piece off and I can replace it with open pieces here. The Master Grade for the God Gundam does open up, but these are swappable. So basically you would choose which one you want. You either wanted the closed face or the open face. And I prefer the closed face myself on this kit. But yeah, it is, unfortunately, these do not split open. They're not on hinges. They are swappable, which is nice if you want if you want it that way. But since I don't want it that way, it's not as nice. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. This kit did also comes with extra screws in case you screw up. It does have other screws, extra screws, which is nice. When they got away from using screws, it wasn't that long when they did it, but when they got away from screws, it was good for everyone that they got away from this. But it does mean that I always have a screwdriver. I always have this screwdriver in my toolkit, my build stuff. So that's nice because every once in a while I buy an old master grade that has fucking screws on it. Every once in a while I'm like, what, this Easy 8 has screws? God damn, oh, I have this. Okay. You know, that kind of thing. Lastbrick says, I know it's just a high grade, but I wish the face of the G-Quux transformed instead of building a second head. I haven't gotten there yet. I own that kit. That's a future build, but I haven't built it yet. So I don't, you know, I'm sure I also will share your annoyance, Lashbrook, in the future. I'm going to take a photo of this. We're going to take a pause for the cause and talk about ways you can support the channel and all that stuff. And then we'll go back to working on the VDAR. But first, let me take a photo of the Shining Gundam. The completed Shining Gundam. Put these so I can get this in the photo here. Great. Go to inbox here. So yeah, we're gonna work on Lastbrick says spoilers. No, it's okay. I did hear about that, so that's not necessarily news I haven't heard before. All right, so we'll go through the VDAR. I should enter here and do the change this so it also says VDAR because we are resuming the Gundam VDAR, which is also a master grade. But instead of being from the year 2022, it's from the year 2025. It is the most modern kit that we've built up until the G-Quux, which will be slightly more modern. Yes, this kit also has components from the Barbatos master grade, so it's also some stuff from like 2017, 2019, or 2017, so it's not it's not super old. Your VDAR is not working well right now. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully I'll have some good luck. We also worked on the VDAR high grade in the past, so I have a little experience with that. And I also built the master grade Barbatos, so I do have some experience with that kit. We'll get back to that in a second. Right now, what's going to happen is I'm going to talk to you about ways that you can support what I do here. I'm going to go through this quickly. These are all optional ways to support me. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you would like to, I would love that. So if you wanted to hang out, help me out, you could. If you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or using your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link up your Twitch account to it. You get a token. You can use that token for anybody. If you want to use it for me, that'd be great. Also, you could gift a sub. You could be the first person to gift a sub this month. You could also throw some bits, be in the cheerleader board. Those are ways to support me. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you want to, it'd be cool. I would be like psyched about it. There are other ways to support me financially, and I'm going to go through those now, like joining my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over my Patreon, you can join at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. Early next week, my patrons are going to get the exclusive Q&A video. I do a monthly Q&A video over on Patreon. They're the only people that get to watch it. So if you want to see that, jump in. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over my YouTube, of course, subscribing is free. Please subscribe to my YouTube. I make videos over there. But also, while you're there, if you wanted to, you could jump in and become a member. And for just $2 a month, you'll get my Wednesday videos, my weekly Wednesday videos. You'll get that on Tuesday. You get a day ahead. you would have known on Tuesday that one of the shows that even if I don't want to call it my favorite show, but a show from the spring season that I can't stop thinking about, you would have seen that video already, and you wouldn't have been surprised on Wednesday. So if you want to know, want to put it up next week, you'll get it a day early. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to throw a tip in the tip jar, I've got a Ko-Fi and a PayPal. You can donate directly, and everything I make through direct donations like that, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, through my Patreon and through my Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund I buy model kits. The Shining Gundam, the kit that I first worked on when I was like, I'm gonna do Build with Bear Workshop, that kit, I bought that kit with your generosity. Past you helped out present me. If you want to help out future me, a way to do that is to any of those ways there. Now, we are currently working on the VDAR. We're returning to the VDAR, which we paused. So we're going to resume the VDAR. And the reason why I'm able to work on that is because it was sent to me by a friend of the stream, DSHS, decided they're going to send that to me. Now, if you want to buy something for me to build, the best way to do that is to go to my Amazon wish list and buy something there. My Amazon wish list has model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that go on sale all the time, kits that are never on sale. There's also a jigsaw puzzle. If you want to see me do a physical jigsaw puzzle, my third of 2025, I will do that. That is currently for a good price, I would say, if you want to get that. It's a Magic Gathering themed jigsaw puzzle. I've built 2 of them so far. If you want to see me build the third and final one from that company, I'll do that. But yeah, I've got old model kits on here, like the Zaku 1 high grade. That's an old kit. I'd love to, it was reissued. I'd love to work on that. Lego, knockoff Lego, model kits, all kinds of things and things. The Lightning Z Gundam from Build Fighters Try I have on here. A company called Chowping made a Xenomorph model figure action figure model kit. It's a Xenomorph from Aliens. I don't think they have the license for that, but they made that. If you want me to build that thing. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not an action figure model kit. It's a knockoff Lego. That's right. My apologies. That's the knockoff Lego. If you want to see me build that, it's compatible with Lego is what they say, which I bet they aren't supposed to say. But yeah, I got Lego and model kits, all kinds of things and things, expensive kits, cheap kits, some gear at the bottom of my list. If you want to support me that way, get me a better capture card than the one I have currently, which eventually I'm going to have to replace because it's I have to unplug it and plug it back in sometimes. Third-party model kits are getting pretty wild. Yeah, they are. The problem with third-party model kits is that they're not good at all. Like the knockoff Lego are like the knockoff Lego brick kits, you can still kind of work with, but knockoff plastic model kits, I don't want to build. Because they're incredibly frustrating and they have poor quality control, because why would they have quality control? And sometimes the plastic feels gross. That's fun too. One of my friends got a third-party kit, and it did not come in a box. It came in black plastic bags that were taped up. Like several black they put all of the sprues in black plastic bags and then rolled it up and then taped it and then mailed it to him. And I was like, oh, what company is that? Because I don't want to buy from them. He had to do a lot of customization, and by that I mean filing parts so they fit together. I was like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. Anyway, what am I gonna say? Oh, that was the wish list. My alternative to my Amazon wish list is I have a wish list on Throne. You can check that out if you want to do that. You could also go, if you want to support me financially, but you want it to be convoluted, you want to do a lot of steps and have it be a real nightmare. It's not a nightmare, but it's weird. You got to go to USA Gundam Store. USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card there. Then they will send you an email with your gift card code. And then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy a model kit from USA Gundam Store. And you can make a suggestion. You're like, you should pick this up, Pat. You could do that if you wanted to. People have done it, which I'm always surprised about. I'm still surprised that people did that. It's fun. I have a Discord. You're welcome to join that Discord. It's full of kind, nice people. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff that they're working on. It's a great place. We'd love to have you at, if you wanted to, you could jump back into the Discord at any time. Come on in. The most recent episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club is me talking about shows I wish I hadn't recommended seasonally every season. A couple weeks into the season, I do a video where I'm like, hey, here's what I'm excited about. Here's what I'm watching this season. Here's what I think you should check out. And then sometimes those shows don't end up being great. It's almost like maybe recommending a show that's only like 2 or 3 episodes in is too early to do that. And I should not do that. I'm taking that into advisement and I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to wait before I start recommending stuff till at least like 5 or 6 episodes in. So watch that to hear about 3 shows I wish I hadn't recommended to people. And the comment section on that one is great because people are talking about shows they wish they hadn't watched. And so that's nice. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. It is my attempt to spread the love. They're 1-minute shorts or under a minute shorts. You can watch that video if you want to check this out. The most recent one is me talking about G-Quarks or G-Quarks, however you want to say it. The most recent Gundam series, which has its flaws. It had some major fucking flaws, but I find myself thinking about it again. And I'm thinking about rewatching it now that it's all out. So it's got to be one of the shows. There's something about it. You know what I mean? There's something to it. And I've recommended shows that I'm like, hey, this show rules, don't watch the second season. You know, so I feel like I can recommend a show that's like messy, but still good. There is no perfect anything. So like there's no perfect anime. Like my favorite anime of all time still has dud episodes. You know, like there's a couple episodes of Cowboy Bebop that I'm like, that was kind of, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's there. There's nothing's perfect. Now, perfect transition. That is happening. What's going to happen here is I'm going to transition back to the overhead camera. I'm going to drink some water while I do it. Then we're going to get back into working on the Gundam Vidar. And before we do that, we're going to dramatically transition right now. I did a whole thing. Yuri Kuma Arashi is perfect, though. I mean, like, look. When I say there's no perfect medium, there's no perfect anime, I understand that some people will not agree with that because they'll be like, well, my favorite show is perfect. But, like, there's something about it, right? Like, there's something about it, right? Like, I'm not, like, you being completely honest or you making a fun joke. Like, either way, it's worth talking about the fact that, like, yeah, there's probably something about it that is, like, not 100%. But it might be perfect to you. You know what I mean? Might be perfect to you. Might be the best show that has ever existed. I guess I could say this. No matter what, there's something about everything. There's a reason to watch. Like, sometimes shows aren't great, but they're good. Like, caps lock good. And some shows are a mess. But, like, I don't know. The guy what made Evangelion made a Gundam series. You're making a joke. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, it's Evangelion Gundam. Like, that happened. Like, it exists. And that's weird. And, like, kind of fucking cool. The second ever female lead in a Gundam series happened. The last 2 major Gundam series, because Requiem was a mini series. Let's be real. The first two major 12-episode Gundam series, the last two major 12 Gundam series came out, 12 and 24. You know what I'm saying? Were female-led, a thing that hadn't happened before. There's a lot to unpack about Quarks that I think is interesting, and I think it's worth exploring that series. I wish it was better. We can still talk about it. All right, so Gundam Vidar. You can see here there's a lot. We'll look at what I've done for this kit, and we'll keep working on it. But I have to put all my sprues back here, so I got to organize all this stuff, find all this. Then I got to maybe get a baggie for the screws. I should keep these screws. I have the spare screws. I should keep these. I gotta get a little bit of tape and tape up one of these bags and just put them all in there, because I think that would be probably the way to go. All right, G and H in here. If you don't know I whacked the table that my camera is attached to. I got these things. I bought these years ago. They stack easily. I have 6 of them. They are meant for like folders on a desk or whatever. But they hold several sprues, and they collapse down. They interlock and then collapse. And they don't take up much room at all, which is excellent. We love that. Oh, zoom in here. Went the wrong way. And they're very nice for that. You can get stuff that will like hold them up like this. I have hated every one of those that I have ever purchased or used. Really, to me, the sprues just slide out and they don't really get held well. And so I don't like using those. This system works really well for me. When I first started doing model kits, I built out of the box. I think you can just stack them all up on the sides and just start fiddling through. I think that is a valid way to build. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. So if that's how you want to organize stuff, you certainly can. J and K. Put that there. Put that there. And then C and C. That's. And then B and A. Yep. All right. We have done quite a bit of this, but this kit is going to take a while to put together because it is incredibly detailed. The interior is the same with the Barbatos. It's just a lot. Hold on. The phone fell. There's still a lot to do here. We got the top half of it done. We're working on the feet here and the legs. I'm going to have this other one here. So yeah, there's still a lot left to build on this kit. And we'll continue it. It looks like I left off on this step, which is really nice. I circled it because I knew it would be several streams before I came back to this kit. And I'm very glad that I wrote this down, because we're almost done with one of these legs, which is great. The interior anyway, and then we got to do the outer frame, because we're going to put a foot on. We're going to put the foot on. But before we put the foot on, we have to put one of these connectors on. Now, as I do this and continue working on the Vidar, I am going to talk about the anime that I am currently watching. We'll go through what I'm thinking of. 2 anime shows. Episode 4 of The Water Magician and episode 3, because I'm an episode behind, of Secrets of the Silent Witch. Episode 4, I've been waiting for this episode. It is because I've been reading this manga. When I got to this part of the manga, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. It finally happened. Our main character came across someone that he was not prepared to be able to defeat, which is awesome. But going back a little bit, if you're unfamiliar, Ryo died, was sent to another world, was isolated for a while to learn magic. He eventually learned magic on his own, and then he also learned swordsmanship from. He happened to run into a Dullahan, a headless horseman, who was silently instructed him and in various things in sword fighting, and then eventually gifted him a sword and his robes. And then it's turned out that was the Fairy King. And we don't really know too much about what's going on with the Fairy King, except that like something about the Fairy King, something was going on, and the Fairy King was like, yeah, I like this guy. Eventually he met another person of this world, Abel, and Abel was like, will you come with me? I'm going to try to get back to civilization, go back to where I'm from. And our guy was like, yeah, I'd like to learn about the world. And they travel together. And then Abel, who is, by all accounts, like one of the best adventurers in the world, was like, oh, wow, our guy Rio is fucking, he's not only is he a really good mage, because he used chantless magic, and he's a water magician, which we will later discover, I know this because of the manga reading, is a rare thing. Water magic is very rare. And he is very strong. So our dude is, even though he's very strong, he's taking beginner classes. He's got to do it. He's got to do the beginner classes to be an adventurer. He should be able to skip it, but it's good to learn the rules of the world and how dungeons work. And so he goes down with his class to the first floor of a dungeon. And Amon, who is a guy that he rooms with a couple adventurers. He's nervous, and then Rio helps him and kind of like helps him out and gives him some pointers and just kind of reassures him. There's a whole really nice thing in this episode where later Amon Rio realizes, oh, you are in the same school, like you were taught by the same person that teaches the style that, you know, one of the coolest guys, the guy you look up to, does that style. And that I was like, Abel is really talented. He also works really hard. And so that is encouraging for our little guy. And it's a fun little moment. The other adventurers, they all kind of celebrate their first days. Some people are more gung-ho than others about continuing to work in the dungeon. And our guy is like, well, I got a bunch of money for bringing materials. I don't really have to work too hard at being an adventurer because I got this money and I got a place to stay and I'm doing pretty good. But he's like, I'm going to buy more books because he wants to learn more about this world. He also wants to start getting into alchemy. So he's trying to find alchemy books. And so he's like walking to the library when suddenly an eclipse happens. Got a lunar eclipse, and the world freezes. But our dude, Rio, is like strong enough apparently that he gets caught in it, but he doesn't get like, he's not frozen in it, like, and then he gets attacked, and then we have a really fucking well animated, unbelievably well done, super cool fight that I was very fucking psyched about because it worked out really great. He fights against a lady who is clearly a demon. We know that in this world there are Kuma, so they're called a Kuma. This is Leore, and she's got firepower, and she shows up basically like, hey, what's your fucking deal? You're a really strong human. That can't be. I'm going to have to kill you. And they fight, and it's a really good fight. It goes back and forth. He uses his powers, mostly ice attacks, but then eventually we haven't watched him learn this. He's figured out how to make acid rain, and she gets cut up by ice shards and starts choking on the rain and cut her and basically just like recognizes like, hey, that's a fairy sword. Like, what's your fucking deal? And he's just like, I am not telling you anything. because our guy is smart, but she really loved this fight. And like it basically it ends in a draw. We don't know how that would have gone either way. Who would have been victorious in it, because the eclipse ends and she has to leave. And she's just like, don't die. This fucking villain line. Her parting words are fucking awesome. She's like, I love this fight. I can't wait to do it again. Don't die to anyone else. You belong to me. And it's just like, holy shit. It fucking ruled. Basically just like, yeah, hey, I'm going to be the one to kill you. Don't think some other jerk's going to be able to do it. You better fucking stay alive. All right, so this has to go in here and then... Sorry, I don't know. I don't understand how this works. It's going to go in here and then it's going to turn. Like, what? I thought this went here, but it doesn't go there. It goes like this. I forgot that the Vidar has some weird shit that is like poorly explained. I forgot all about that. Yeah, so I know that this part, something clicks in place. Oh, does it go like this? Goes in like this. And you gotta twist it, and then this twists up. Oh, okay. I think I get it. I have to feed this in on sideways. And then turn it so it's like this. And then edge it up and lean it back. But does it go like this, or it goes like that? All right, yeah. And then this piece goes in like this. It's very complicated and weird. Yes, a sad fat man. Our demon girl has definitely Dami mommy energy. I don't think that's incorrect. I don't think that's an incorrect read of the situation. It's just a very fucking cool fight. And because so this is a light novel adaptation, right? It's a light novel adaptation. It is not. I've read the manga. Both the chapter ends there, right? But because this is adapting 3 or 4 chapters, that should be the end of the episode. They should have changed the order, and they didn't. So he gets hurt, and he goes buy some books. But then he goes back to the dorms to relax, and he sees the people that he shares a room with being bullied by some older adventurers. They're not like much better. Because, of course, there's a hierarchy, and they're getting their kicks by insulting people who are, weren't ready for it. They attack them out of nowhere, and they're basically just like, what? Like, do you expect that monsters in the dungeon will announce that they're there and take turns or whatever? Which is like a lesson to be learned, but they're not trying to teach lessons. They're trying to be fucking bullies. And then... everybody but Dan, the leader of this group of adventurers, all get knocked out in one blow. Basically, our guy just flicks icicles at their necks and knocks them all out. And then, of course, Dan charges him, and he says some shit like, oh, do you think I wouldn't, do you think I announced myself or whatever? He kind of gives it back. He gets charged at, and just instantly with the end of his sword, not even drawing his sword, just hits him in the stomach, and then Dan vomits. And then they all end up, all the party ends up getting cleaned up and hanging out in a bath where our guy gets healed by a healer. So I guess that's why you want to keep the order, so you have the scene where he gets healed. And then our boy Ryo basically is just like, I need to learn more about the cloister. I need to know more about the Akuma. Are there people like, are there going to be people stronger? Dirty says they changed from the manga that the ice lance hits them in the neck instead of the ass. Yes, he hits them all in the butt in the manga. Now, a thing to remember, Dirty, and this is not saying that this happened, it might be the same, is that this is I always try to remember this. This is an adaptation of the light novel. The manga exists, but since it's based on a light novel, this is adapted to the light novel. So that could have been a change for the manga. And this might be more true to the original, which is always the thing to keep in the back of your mind when you're like, why did they change this? The biggest shocker in modern anime is So I'm a Spider, So What? Because it's in chronological order in the light novel. How do I put this? The light novel and the anime jump around in time. It doesn't look like they're jumping around in time, but they do. And the manga decided we're going to do everything in order. And so when some people who had read the manga started watching the anime, they were like, what? Why did they change this? Why are they jumping back and forth? I haven't seen these scenes in the manga yet. And that's because the manga made a change, which was maybe a good idea and maybe not, but they did make that change. And then this, of course, wasn't adapting the manga, it was adapting the light novel. So maybe in the light novel, they were all hitting the neck, or is it anime change? But either way, it's really anticlimactic to go for a fucking cool as hell battle, right? The fight between him and the Akuma is awesome. It's well animated and it looks cool as hell, and it's a good fight. It's built well. And then we went from that to, and then this dude was bullying some people, and so our guy made them all look shitty. And it's just like a weird jump. Like I said, like maybe they should have changed the order. It would have been fine if that was like the cliffhanger and they didn't need to do the fight part, and it was just like he noticed his friends are being, and roommates are being like being bothered by people, and so he decides he needs to act. Is this sixth? This is 31. This is supposed to fit in to this, and it's not, and I'm annoyed. Anyway, good episode. Like I said, strange, but fun, and I really enjoyed it. I need to figure out why this is not locking in place. It's supposed to lock in place. These things are supposed to slide in, and so I'm missing something about this. There's something obvious about how these slide in that I'm not getting, because it slides right out. So I gotta figure that out. Anyway, I got it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Cool. Water Magician. Fucking really fun. I really like the manga. I am still really enjoying the anime adaptation. So yeah. All right, great. Got our booster in here. We got our back rockets, and then we got to build our front rockets. Because if you haven't seen this kit before, you can see it right there in the photo that it's got front leg boosters and back leg boosters. It's real weird. I love it, but it's real weird. All right. Episode 3 of The Secrets of the Silent Witch. This is about a girl who knows chantless magic. She learned chantless magic because she doesn't want to do incantations in front of people, because she does not want to be perceived or seen. She's a young girl that in the process of just trying to work and survive and live, she became one of the best magicians or mages in the country. And she has been unfortunately given a mission that she definitely did not want, which is go to school to protect the prince, which is she's the same age as, because if the prince knew that guards were watching him, he would dismiss them. So it is a undercover mission because people don't realize that she's that young. Like literally, they think that she is an older hot lady, and so she is a younger, teen, and she can blend in. But the major problem is that our girl has lots of fucking issues with like being around people and getting to know people and trusting people. And so while she might fit most of the bills, she definitely doesn't fit the bill of being like a good choice for this job. Really, that's my general opinion, is that she's not a great choice for this. Basically, there's been some embezzlement, and she gets accused of it, which feels like nobody really believes that. But in order to prove her innocence, she has to figure out who actually did it. Which just seems weird. So they run into because the last person that was in there had some issues. Aaron O'Brien, who was basically embezzled funds, and there's a belief that maybe our girl was involved, which makes no sense because she just fucking got there. But whatever, it's a way to get the story moving. They run into Aaron's fiance, named Selma, who's being bullied by a count's daughter, Caroline. Caroline pushes Monica down the stairs. Monica does not prevent her own fall, but Monica does get knocked into the vice president. And Monica does not believe that the person that caught her, Cyril, would believe her, so she doesn't say what happened, which is a shame. And then Monica later starts searching for accomplices, and tries to figure out what's going on. And then kind of thinks, oh, this is Selma, the girl that is being bullied, probably was involved in this. Because there's a pair of dirty gloves that she left behind. She apparently did not do a good job of hiding evidence, because she left a pair of gloves behind, and also there are records of who was in various rooms, including the music room. But apparently, she was following orders in order to protect Aaron. She was just doing what she was told to do. And it seems like there is more afoot than this, than it was what being said. I gotta put this piece on, and for whatever reason, it's not sliding on right. And I'm annoyed by that. I'm going to make sure this is I4, because sometimes I've been known to pull the wrong piece out. Okay, no, this is I4. And then this has to slide. That has to slide like that. There it is. Just had to be like fucking perfect, and I wasn't being perfect. All right, there we go. Got that armor on. Now we build the next part, which is the front rockets piece, which is very similar to the previous rocket. And by very similar, I mean pretty much identical. So we'll get that together. Anyway, so they figured it out, but she's being... she was just trying to protect Aaron, following orders. Selma and Aaron agree to withdraw from school. And Felix, basically, this is all part of his fucking plan, because then he's like, great, you've proved your innocence. Now you replace her, and appoints Monica to be in the student council and to be the new treasurer, which she's not thrilled about doing. And she has I'll just say it, she has a fucking nervous breakdown, because she was not expecting that. And she was being way too trusting of people, and she is not prepped for this kind of thing. Then Cyril starts training Monica. Hey, Mjan just subscribed with Prime, 41 months saying only 41 months. Thank you so much, Mjan. Let's do a Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank Mjan for the continued support. Appreciate you very much. So yeah, if you're already a subscriber here, you can throw some emotes in the chat. We love to see it. Thank you very much for your continued support of what I do here. John, appreciate you. Happy you're here. All right, and then I need I1, and then I'm also going to need some other parts. So we'll get those out there. Couldn't use my Prime for mobile. No problem, John. You don't have to apologize. I'm happy you're using it. Okay, so the next day, Cyril, the student council president, trains her in what she needs to do for this job, which she is very unhappy about having to do. And basically, this is one of the first times we've seen this in the show. He sees how capable she is, and he's like, hey, you know, you're more than capable to do this. You should trust yourself and your own abilities and not put yourself down so much. And then he's like, also, I found out what happened with Caroline, and she's been punished. And so our girl, Monica, is like, oh, wow, I didn't think that was happening. Thought that he would, favor the hierarchy and didn't think that that he would punish a noble. So she is impressed with that. I think I'm going to keep watching this show now that I'm 3 episodes in. There is a 4th episode out there. I could track that down to really get a sense of it. Do I love this show? No, I don't love it. Do I like it? Yeah, I think it's that weird thing where I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be rooting for Monica to get over her issues and, continue to help out with the prince and solve problems with that, but also grow as a person and get comfortable and have a nice school life. I think that's like how I'm supposed to feel. But most of the time, I'm just like, man, just let her go home. She doesn't want to do this. Let her go home. And that's not growth. I understand. Like, that's not, that's also not like storytelling. There needs to be conflict and resolution. But like, I don't know. She doesn't want to do any of this shit. She was forced and conned into doing all of this stuff. She already stopped the war. Like, she did her fucking time and served and did all that. And it's just kind of, this is a thing where I'm like, oh man, let this girl fucking just be alone and do stuff. Yeah, she's missing out on some things, but a lot of that shit is overrated. I don't know. I know I'm supposed to be like, oh, hell yeah, she's going to like meet cool people and go on adventures. John says, I liked it so far. Someone who doesn't want to speak in public can't identify with that. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm supposed to, in those shows, because I generally bounce off this type of media where it's like the main character is being forced along to do something and then eventually learns to love it and is better off for it. I did end up watching Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater, which a friend of mine was like, Pat, I can't believe you recommended this to me. She doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to fish. I hate this for her. And I was like, yeah, I get it. She does fall in love with doing all that stuff and being with those people, but it does start, she is like forced into it. And I can understand why someone would balk at that and not want to get into that kind of thing. Like, I get why someone would be like, actually, fuck that. I totally understand. But like, we're gonna finish the we're not gonna finish the red leg. We're gonna get close to finishing the red leg. Yeah, we're gonna mark where I've left off here and continue. But I understand why some people, like I said, eventually they're going to be minor characters that I really like, and she's going to also like them. And so it's going to be very cool for her to have opportunities with these new characters to like change up her point of view and to like experience cool shit. And so I look forward to that for her. I look forward to her having some of that stuff because I think that'll be nice for her. But right now I'm just like, oh man, let this girl go back home. Live her quiet life. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Yeah, I didn't even realize we're so close to 11 o'clock. I'm I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. We're going to keep working on the VDAR on Monday. I wrote 2025 for the VDAR instead of master grade. I don't. That's when it came out. I must have been saying 2025 when I wrote that. But on Monday's stream, well, I'll continue working on the Gundam VDAR there. So we'll continue working on that. But we're trucking through models today, indeed. We may be done here on stream, but we're not done hanging out because we need to go on a raid. We need to raid. We're going to go find someone out there doing cool stuff and go spend some time with them. We always end with a raid, as John says. So we're going to go find someone doing some fun stuff and go hang out for a bit. I'm going to watch some wrestling because I'm going to watch the replay of AEW's Collision because I want to. So we're going to watch that in a couple of minutes. What do I got to do next here? What do I got to do? I got to... wait. I found someone to raid. Let's see. How long have they been streaming? Maybe it's too long. I don't know how much longer our friend is going to do this, but Jan is streaming right now. So we're going to go raid Coffee with Jan. Jan is playing Fortnite and raising some money for moving. So if you can support the good boy, Jan Ochoa, please do. And if not, you being there makes it more likely that other people will come by. So please go hang out with Jan. He's one of the good ones. A+ human. Let's go hang out with Jan and then come back on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern for more model kit building and conversation. It'll be Manga Monday. I'm going to recommend 2 manga that I've been reading and really enjoying. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.